Hello my dear friends of the world, Paul the Trombonist here, and in this video we're going to talk about the entire process from first starting out as a trombonist, from the very beginning, very beginner stage, all the way to advanced level of playing in the whole evolution to become a well-rounded trombonist and what you need to work on through the whole process. The first thing that you're going to want to do is have an understanding about breathing before you even play your instrument, because it's a wind instrument. So I would recommend studying breathing before you even begin playing the trombone. There's some resources out there. I'll put them in the description. There's a book called The Science of Breath. Highly recommend that book. It will teach you kind of the physics of breathing and how to breathe. You want to remember that when you breathe, your ribs actually move really fluidly. They're not a constricted thing. So they go like this when you breathe. And remember a glass of water. When you fill it up, it goes from the bottom up, and that's what's happening here. I did an entire video on breathing. You can check it out for some more in-depth insight into that topic. So once you get a concept of the breathing, since it's a wind instrument, then we can begin to play the instrument. After you know how to buzz and produce a sound, you're going to want to develop your sound. And the way you're going to want to develop your sound is by what we call long tones. And the more long tones you do, the better your sound becomes. So you want to get a great sound on the trombone, and there are many long tone exercises to do. I like to imagine a Wallace sound, you know. You do that all up and down. That's just with air, no tongue. Don't use any tongue on that. I just use air on ah. Each one of these topics, there are more in-depth videos. I'll put them in the description if you want to get, you know, more into the topic. But I just want to give a nice overview so we can understand the whole process from the beginning of trombone playing till what you want to be is a well-rounded trombonist and professional. So you do that, then you add the tongue. You're going to get comfortable with your tongue. I use the syllable da. So once you get comfortable with the long tones, you're adding your tongue, and you're starting to get develop a good sound, you're going to want to experiment with the lip slurs. The lip slurs are going to help you to navigate your airs. There's an infinite number of lip slurs. There's an infinite. I've done another video more in depth on that stuff, and a lot of this stuff is in my method book that I wrote, so I'll put a link in the description too. Most of the exercises I use that hit on each one of these categories are in that. So you do your lip slurs, you get them all up and down, you get comfortable, you hit on them all day, every day. You always work on them. You're always going to work on your long tones, you're always going to work on your lip slurs, and then we're going to go now to the next category, which is articulation. So we want to work on articulations. So there are many articulations. There's ta, there's da, there's ka, there's tu, there's all kinds of stuff. So let's just start with ta, okay? And then you can go. Then you're going to work on your little legato tonguing. I'll say like da. Do them on all partials from first to seventh position. Get your articulation solid, develop the muscles, take breaks. There's a video I put up on articulations too. There's videos of almost each one of these topics, and almost all this stuff is kind of organized in my method book. So just want to give you the overview here, folks. Okay, then you got the articulations. This is just kind of like building technique and stuff. There's a book, pretty much the trombone go-to book that a lot of people use. This is called the Rochut, and it was developed from a lot of vocal exercises that was transcribed to the trombone. And these are valuable for getting lyrical on the trombone and navigating your air and applying it into a musical context. So what you do next is you work on your Rochuts, okay? You're going to work on your Rochuts. There's so many, you know. All of these are valuable. And I really think that these are so important for getting your sound together. And so on, so on. And there's so many. You're going to work out of these. You're going to get your Rochut solid, okay? You're going to get comfortable learning treble clef, because a lot of lead sheets, a lot of music's in treble clef. It's a universal clef. You're going to get comfortable on bass clef. You're going to get comfortable on tenor clef, so you can get comfortable with it, because sometimes you got to read in tenor clef, more so in classical music, but there is times that you will have tenor clef. So get comfortable with the tenor clef, because you want to be prepared, okay? Then you're going to work on your slide technique and your alternate positions, and there are many exercises. There's one that I have in my book that's like this. And you're matching it to make sure there's no difference if you were to be blindfolded, and it sounds like it's on the same position. I did an entire video of that as well. Put all the videos in the description here. This is just an overview to the whole process of becoming a great trombonist, okay? That's going to help with the slide techniques and your alternate positions, and you're going to record yourself so you can constantly get better. You're always going to record yourself. It's going to constantly get better. Then you got to get really comfortable with all your major scales, like super comfortable with all your major scales, okay? Then you're going to go... You're going to get comfortable with different patterns of them. And this one. And all keys, every key. You're going to do it in every key, all up and down, and all the modes inside it. Okay, so then you're going to hit all the modes inside it. So you're going to start the same key signature on the second degree, and you're going to do all the modes. So you know all the modes, right? Dorian on the second degree, Phrygian on the third degree, Lydian on the fourth degree, Mixolydian on the fifth, Aeolian, also known as minor, on the sixth, and then you got Locrian on the seventh. And those are all inside the major scales. You're going to get comfortable on them. So let's just say we're in B flat. Then you're going to start the one on the second scale degree. You'll do 2 octaves of these. That's Dorian, and you're going to do the one on the third. On the fourth. You do that in all 12 keys, all the modes inside them. You're going to get super comfortable with that. So then you get really comfortable on all of your harmony. So all the different inversions. You do the arpeggios on root position. Then to do the next one up on the third. The next inversion on the fifth. Then the one on the seventh. And then down. And you're going to do all this stuff with metronomes. You're going to do it all with metronomes. You're going to get really comfortable in time, because music's in time when we come time to perform it. So that's the scales, the modes, the arpeggios. Now you're going to do your chromatics, okay? You're going to get your chromatics together from the lowest note on the horn to the highest up you can do. You go all the way up, all the way down, and then you practice your chromatics from every single note that exists up and down. And I call that chromatic chromatics. I have an exercise for that too in my method book, because I never saw anything like that written out before, so I wrote that up for you in the method book. And there'll be a link in the description of that, plus all the videos that go with all this stuff. Okay, so now you get really comfortable with that. Next, you're gonna start to jam out on different tonalities. Okay, so like say you're in the key of an F major. And that's all the notes in that tonality in that major key. You don't use any other notes, and you get comfortable with all 12 keys in that manner. Then you're really comfortable with your major scales. So you're going to want to do that. Then you're going to want to get comfortable playing patterns around all 12 keys. So you're just going to pick an idea and you're just going to take it around. You can take a simple tune. And you can start learning it in all 12 keys. You can do that all 12 keys, and it could be like a little idea or like a lick. You can go all up and down all 12 keys, different ranges and octaves of that, and just take little ideas through all 12 keys so you're getting comfortable playing in all 12 keys. Very important. Stuff is with a metronome, folks. You're going to be using it all with a metronome. Then we're going to start like incorporating some of the ornaments in the trombone playing, because trombones have some natural ornaments. You're going to practice your turns. You're going to do the turns all up and down the horn. I wrote out an exercise for that in my method book as well. So there's turns. You're going to get comfortable with all your turns. You're going to get comfortable with your trills. I put an exercise for that as well. You're going to get the trills together. You're going to get comfortable with your vibrato, which is a whole other thing. There's different types of vibrato. There's jaw vibrato. There's slide vibrato. There's a combination of jaw and slide vibrato. And you can... that's a little bit of slide vibrato. Here's some jaw. That's a little jaw vibrato. Here's a combination of both. And it goes on. And that's really something that's a little challenging. You'll get it if you keep listening. I have exercises for them too that will help. Next, you're going to get comfortable with your 2-5-1 patterns. This is all these patterns that are going to be going around the keys. Those are the 2 chord to the 5 chord to the 1 chord. And you're just going to get comfortable playing those patterns. You're going to have it a little jamming on a loop, and you're just going to get comfortable with those on all 12 keys. And you're going to take that all around all 12 keys, and you're going to come up with different patterns just so you have something in your back pocket, because improvising isn't exactly something that just comes from the heavens with no prior muscle memory workout. You got to work out certain things, and then over time you end up embellishing them, and that becomes like when you were learning how to speak a language. You didn't just start speaking. You imitated your parents. You imitated the people that are around you that were speaking, and you started mimicking them. That's what you got to do. You got to have something to mimic. So you find patterns, you find vocabulary that you just get under your fingers. So when it comes time, when you want to start improvising, it becomes yourself, and then you can get that together. Okay, now we got... You're learning a lot of tunes. You're getting a nice little repertoire of tunes. Start playing on a lot of rehearsals. You're going to be in the big band section, playing with a lot of orchestras. You're going to play in small combos. You're going to play funk bands. You're going to play in Latin bands and bossa novas and Motowns and hip hop and ska and reggae and just anywhere the trombone can fit. You're going to want to adapt to that and play with a lot of people. As many as you can, rehearsals as many as you can. It's going to help your reading. It's going to help your blending. It's going to help your pitch. It's going to be able to apply all this stuff. And then it comes time to transcribing. So you're going to transcribe a lot because it's the reverse of sight reading. The more you transcribe, the better you're going to get at actually sight reading, because it's the reverse, and you're going to get a lot of vocabulary and figure out the details on what people are doing on all of this material, okay? One thing as a trombonist, you're going to want to get comfortable walking bass lines. So you're going to want to have that roll, be able to have that roll. Because of the range of our instrument, we want to be able to have a nice control over that ability. Get comfortable walking bass lines and all different chord progressions. Just get the idea about that going together in your repertoire of playing. abilities. And that leads to also being able to be good at a solo performance. Being able to just not have a band around you and rely on your band and just be able to play solo, you know, like captivate somebody solo playing, you know. Whatever. Just get comfortable solo playing, being able to, you know, captivate people just from playing solo. And then you're going to listen to so many trombone players just to understand the concept of the feel. You're going to listen to all kinds of recordings. You're going to want to get with a mentor that will be able to help guide you. Also a book called The Remington Warm-Up. I highly recommend it. The Arbens book, the Schlossberg book. These are all go-to methods that will really help get your facility on your instrument, just make you a well-rounded trombonist. So it will happen, you know. I know it can get discouraged and stuff, and you can think that, oh man, stuff is it's really overwhelming. But if you just put the time in and you little by little, it's really going to start happening. So that's kind of like the overview on the beginning to end, the whole process of just getting to be a well-rounded, good trombone player. Thanks everyone for watching my videos. I really appreciated it so much. I thank the patrons. I thank everyone. And if you're interested, I put up the little links in the description of some of the videos that I did more in depth of stuff. And I wrote a method book called Trombone Exercises that will make you a great player, the world's first interactive digital trombone method book with a lot of this material that I feel like is the most important to help take your playing to the next level. So that's all in there with all clickable interactive links that support the content. So you can just go to the exercise and click the link and it will give you a video to help support it if you got a question and stuff with practice tips and all kinds of stuff. That's all there. It's paulthetrombonist.com/books. You're the best people in the world. I really appreciate you so much. You take care.